Hi everyone. So this is my social justice video blog. So first question, what is your understanding of how cultural humility, cultural awareness, advocacy, and social justice are important in the counseling profession? All of these concepts are prerequisites to the proficient practice of counseling. Cultural humility is to rid yourself of any belief that you or your culture are superior to anyone else's. Cultural humility and cultural awareness both rely heavily on the counselor's continuous evaluations of personal biases and ongoing self-reflection. Important to my understanding is that 15 minutes of Googling my client's culture does not make me competent, but sets up the scenario to degrade the counseling relationship. I understand that my own ignorance will get in my way sometimes, and that is something to remain cognizant of. Advocacy and social justice are important to the counseling profession in many other ways. The most obvious example is the extra attention the profession needs because of its young past. Advocacy in the public arena is like for instance, bringing awareness to certain legislations. It is important to create the best environment the profession has to offer. Advocacy also exists at the personal level, as Simons et al. 2019 states. The counselor may serve as a guide by providing input to support the needs of the client. Social justice is important in the field of counseling because we as counselors need to be advocates for our clients' dignity and basic rights, to create an atmosphere that suspends judgment and fosters a growth environment. Social justice also adds value in understanding the intersecting identities of clients and how they are seen by society. So the second question was, what is the understanding of the ethical principles regarding cultural humility, cultural awareness, and humility and/or social justice? So the ethical principles of cultural humility and social justice begins with the respect for cultural diversity. This means avoiding assumptions and stereotypes, which is keeping with the humility taught in the Bible. All counselors must engage in self-reflection continually and work on accepting feedback that might hurt their pride or ego. Another ethical principle is creating and participating in actions that advocate for underserved and minority populations. This aligns with the ACA Code of Ethics and subsection A7.A, which states, when appropriate, counselors advocate at individual, group, institutional, and societal levels to address potential barriers and obstacles that inhibit access and/or the growth and development of the client. Finally, the key to all this is, in my understanding, is engaging in self-evaluation. Question number 3, name at least one Bible verse or spiritual quotation that supports the importance of cultural awareness and humility and or social justice. So one of my favorite Bible verses comes from Romans, and I think it really applies to the concepts of cultural awareness and humility. Romans 12:16 states that live in harmony with one another, do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people in low positions, and do not be conceited. This verse inspires me to remain steadfast on my journey of humility and is a good reminder that the work is never done. Number 4 was, what is an action you will take to develop or demonstrate cultural humility with clients? So an action I will take to develop my cultural humility is to adopt the mindset that my continual learning will never have an end point. I will demonstrate my cultural humility by reminding myself that I must always show respect for a client's cultural background. The other action I will take is to remind myself that it is okay if the client does not share my values. I will remain from the spirit of paternalistic correction and let my curiosity replace my judgment. And finally, number 5, what is an action you will take to advocate/engage in social justice for client populations? The action I can see myself taking is to be an advocate for a marginalized population and is in volunteering my time with the incarcerated population. Growing up near a state prison, I became very familiar with how tough it is for prisons to find volunteers and new hires. According to Jacobs Giordin 2018, 1 out of every 7 male inmates and 1 out of every 3 female inmates has a serious mental health condition. I feel that volunteering as a licensed mental health counselor would be a good use of my pro bono time and a helpful action for an underserved population. Thank you so much, guys.